Welcome to the very first Banded About Vodcast. Today I am at the home of the Love Mussels. So we're going to find out a bit more about this very elusive band. Come on in, let's have a look. I am interviewing the Love Mussels. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Liv. I'm on drums. Kim.
And what do you do, Kim?
Business.
He plays guitar and sings and harmonica.
Oh, that's what I do.
And writes songs.
Oh, yes, right.
Writes
Yes.
songs.
I'm Brett. I sing and play guitar. A little bit of piano. Kim can actually play piano better than me, but I don't know why he doesn't play anything. Because I'll hold it, that's basically what. And over to Dennis.
And he writes songs.
And we write songs, that's right.
I'm Dennis and I play bass.
And Dennis, I believe you're the newest member of the band.
I'm a new kid on the muscle block.
On the muscle block. And how does it feel to be a love muscle?
Oh, it's great.
It's great.
Very muscly.
It's excellent. We're doing new music all the time, original music, and we're doing it really well.
Excellent. So whose idea was the band initially?
I think it's yours, isn't it? It just kind of morphed into existence from previous other incantations of versions of the bands that we played in. We decided that we were pulling together a slightly new outfit a very long time ago, and I think somebody said, well, if we're going to go play a show, we probably need a name for the band. And for somehow we ended up with Love Mussels, the seafood mussels. And that's the myth has it that it's because everybody loves seafood, particularly shellfish. Crustaceans are on the menu often as well, especially if it comes with a little piquant sauce on the side. We quite like that. And a salad. And a salad and some chips and copious amounts of wine. And that became sort of the bedrock of what is the Love Mussels today. And we do have albums in the past called Seafood Bisque and Lobster Bisque and things like that. So there is a reference there to all the world of mussels.
What year did you start playing?
Taste the Mussels.
I remember coming in around 2004. Or was it? We played in the 90s. I think it was in the 90s. We started even
As the Mussels.
Yeah, as the Mussels. I remember us playing a show or three sometime in maybe the mid-90s, I reckon. Maybe the early 90s, because I think I quit music for about a year, and then we decided to do the first album, and that wasn't until 94.
Kim and I have been playing together for a long time. We were in a band in primary school called the Potted Shrimp. This is its start.
Oh, so the seafood theme has been there for quite some time then.
Yeah, there was a slight deviation during uni days when we had a band called Ho Chi Minh and the Viet Cong. Wasn't very popular for some reason.
No, and I wanted to get us back on a seafood basis.
That's right.
Yeah, the crabs at the time, didn't you?
The crabs.
That's right.
We couldn't use the title of the crabs.
Seafood platter.
The seafood platter. That name's been kicked around. So we've settled on the Love Mussels.
Yeah.
And you're happy with that one?
Yeah, and yes, that's right, because it embraces our love of seafood and also the love aspect, because we love that kind of 60s psychedelic pop rock.
World peace.
World peace, that's right. And things like loving and 3 days of love, peace in music. Love. All you need is love, summer of love.
And the love of seafood.
And the love of seafood. So it's a perfect fit. Don't you think? I think actually potted shrimp had more appeal. Because a lot of people think Love Mussels is about something else. We have to spend a lot of time explaining to them that it's not. It's nothing to do with genitalia at all.
No. Stew.
So it's potted shrimp.
It's completely about seafood.
You're not going to get any sort of misunderstanding.
No, that's right.
You know where you stand.
Quite marine mollusks.
Yeah. Bypass, I think. Yeah.
The mollusks of love. That's another title we could use.
So what was the first album?
Dirty World. Dirty World.
So what year was that? What year?
94.
Really? Here I am thinking it was early 2000.
Released in 94.
94?
Yeah.
It's a long way away.
It is.
Rampaging journey through all the dirty things in life at that time.
And you released a few albums and then sort of disappeared for quite some time. Is that correct?
Well, look, are we legally able to talk about this? Because normally we never do a meeting or interview without our legal team, Simon Manning.
They're in the Cayman Islands. The trouble is they have irregular hours, so always.
We're on a world tour, 2006,
Couldn't scope them in.
and we had a major falling out, and then we disappeared for 15 years.
And they were back.
And now we're back. Nobody can remember what the falling out was about, though.
No.
So that's probably due to a failing memory.
Are you glad to be back?
Oh, yeah.
I am yes. Better than that.
We're back with more power as well.
More power?
Yeah, just the music.
So you had a launch of an album last year in October, is that
October.
correct? Yeah? And that went well?
Yeah, I mean, given the restrictions that the world's faced with COVID, we managed to launch it to for those restrictions, it was a full house. People had a pretty good night. It was filmed and it was recorded as well, so it's gone back to the Mussel Vault. We have a vault just in a small island off the coast of Belize, and that's where all of our paraphernalia from our musical life sits, and from time to time we delve into the vault.
It's tax-free.
It's tricky at the moment because we can't travel internationally.
It does make it a bit difficult, doesn't it?
So the material's there, email in, and we'll consider pulling some of it out for a potential live album as well. We've got that and some other concerts. We've got film footage from the disastrous 2006 World Tour, which crashed and burned in Montevideo in Uruguay. And but that is captured on film and it's recorded, and at some point we'll bring some of that to the fore.
Excellent. And you had a big show in Kangaroo Island in January?
We went to Kangaroo Island for 3 days of peace, love and music.
Lots of seafood there?
There was a lot of seafood. And there were also sausages.
And sausages?
Yeah.
Good sausages.
Pretty big on the old sausages, weren't they?
Bit of a detour, wasn't it?
It was a detour.
I thought they were extremely friendly.
They were.
The sausages.
The sausages. Oh, people.
They were fantastic. They looked after us. They made sure they would have everything we needed, and it was really good. I'd like to go there again. So, sausages.
Now, there are clips, two songs from that tour on the website.
I've seen.
So you go to www.lovemussels.com.au. I urge everybody to do that as soon as possible.
And the full musical experience is there, plus the albums, the back catalogue, the new stuff, tour dates, interesting news, comments and articles and other things about the Mussels that reveal many things for the first time.
Excellent. The subject matter of the last EP. Whose idea was that?
Kim's.
Yeah, right, was it? Okay, it was mine. We started, Brett called me up in late 2019 and suggested that perhaps it's time to reconvene and maybe start writing some songs and recording. And so that's where it began. And once we had the songs, we all, as it says on the website, I think, and on the album, we retreated to a little place, explantation place down in Kochi, on the west coast of India, southern India, where we did the rehearsals of the album together. And then we came back here and finished it. And we were ready to launch in March.
Yes.
It was all geared for March. We were recording in January, mixing in February, launching in March. It all was the usual, perfectly put together schedule. And then COVID struck hard, and the world went into lockdown in various ways. And in Australia, we were captured with severe lockdown. And so we couldn't launch. We just kept putting it back until we got to a point where we thought we could play before enough people and make it a worthwhile thing. And that took until October.
Yeah, it's had a tremendous impact on the music industry, hasn't it?
It has. And, given the impact that it has on the industry, in Australia in particular, I think the fact that we've managed in January to do some shows in February and now we're doing March as well, we're probably doing about as much as you can really do under the circumstances. So, we'd like to do a bit more, but everyone would like to do more. But, if I just divert for a moment into the business structure of it, every act that plays under any conditions is going to have a series of fixed costs. And the restrictions on bums on seats has a direct correlation to how you deal with those fixed costs. And for some acts, the deficit is too great for them to use. So they do it. Fortunately for the Mussels, we're able to. We've got the crypto bank that believes banks, and so we're able to get out there and manage it.
That's right.
Not based on the long-term yield as opposed to straight profit, so it works for them.
We're pretty safe now.
Yeah, we are.
And we're going to keep this under wraps, but Kim's in big negotiation with Angela Lucas Brothers and Cabos for some sort of sponsorship.
Correct.
Shouldn't have let that slip. Sorry, boys.
Fresh mussels.
Fresh Mussels. Excellent. So, why the obsession with Einstein?
Well, we've always loved our mate Albert, and he himself was a very good musician and played with a lot of different groups over the years, and right up until just about a couple of years before his death, actually. And he played, he learned violin formally, he learned piano formally as a young child, and he continued to play. And of course, one of his most memorable quotes was that, to paraphrase him, he said, if I hadn't been a theoretical mathematical physicist and a genius, I would have spent my life playing music. And so he said the greatest joy he actually had was every time he played music with people. And so we felt very close to Albert on that basis because we had a very similar feeling. And only one of us is a mathematical physicist. So, the rest of us...
Who is that?
Well, it depends. It depends on the day. But Dennis is very, very clear when it comes to that. When we did the space and time song, fortunately he was able to explain it to us. And then that really made the difference. It helped.
Is there any truth to the rumour that the Love Mussels were behind the theft of the brain?
Well, Brett's the one that has the deepest knowledge and, dare I say, connection to that issue.
You wouldn't do that?
We never do that.
You sure?
To our boy. Not to our boy Albert.
Well, the Mussels like to say something on their records, if we can. We're like a literary branch.
We stole the seafood.
We like to encourage people to read.
We stole the seafood platter from the Rex Hotel.
That's right. We did do that.
That's what we will.
Am I going to have to edit that out?
I don't know, maybe.
Or have your lawyers taken care of that?
We didn't steal it so much.
Right, okay. So did you want to talk a bit more about the songs on the album?
Sure. I mean, look, as Brett mentioned, we like to say things. We have always expressed ourselves in fairly strong social commentary. But whilst some albums in the past that we've done have some common themes amongst them, this was an album that was largely written and put together in the order of the songs and everything around the life and times of Albert Einstein. So there's a singular theme that links most of these things. And so when you go through the songs, you can work it out. Now, because it's come out on vinyl, in the tradition of vinyl, there's a A-side and B-side. So you'll see on the album, if people look at the album and buy the album, which we encourage them to buy, this exclusive limited edition 12-inch high-grade quality German press for a
180 gram.
180 gram psychedelic album. That you'll see that side A is the journey to India and enlightenment, and side B is the journey back to reality. And they are different sides, and side B is probably slightly darker. Excuse me. We're coming in. More across the Muscle Central.
Okay, Liv, you've got the album there. Tell us about the album.
I was determined to do it in a way that we think all the great bands recorded, which is essentially live, or bed tracks as we call them, not just overdub bit by bit, drums, bass, two guitars, and we just set up,
Including lead guitars.
including lead guitars, and we just we set aside 4 days to do it, and we just bashed out the songs until we were happy with the tape, not overly concerned if there was a slight error or something. We just went for the feeling, and when we had gotten that tape, that's what we worked on. We finessed the vocals, of course, and keyboards and the mix. But the essence of it was the bed track is live. Therefore, I like to think it's got the feeling. And we did that. We stuck to our guns, and
It's got the muscle vibe.
it's got the muscle vibe. That's right.
It's all about the vibe,
It's all about vibe.
the constitution. You
It
know.
was like a 4-day lockdown. It was in,
Yeah.
don't get out.
But I think you'll find that all the great stuff was done that way. At least the bed track, not to a click track. So it's a lovely, hopeful, feeling to it.
Excellent. And you recently did an unplugged Muscles concert, which I went to on the 9th of February,
What'd you think?
which was my birthday.
Oh,
I spent my birthday with you guys.
Fancy.
I love
That's
Muscles.
fantastic. There you go.
How do you think that went?
Well,
Johnson, you were there.
I was there. I loved it.
there you go.
I fell in love with the Love Mussels.
There you
And
go.
I congratulate you on your exquisite good taste.
Thank you.
Yeah, we like it. It was lovely for us to actually play it acoustically.
Well, I wouldn't have even known that it was on unless Liv had told me. So,
It
yeah.
was a departure from the Muscles normally. It was pretty much an independent rock sound produced. And to turn the songs into acoustic versions was a bit of manipulation of the thing, but they came out.
They did. The acoustics sounded amazing.
Added another facet
Mm.
to another whisker on the Muscles.
Cat.
So do you think there could be an unplugged Muscles album in the future?
Oh,
All things possible with the Muscles. Everything from unplugged, full-on electric, all the way through to full orchestral scores.
The Love Mussels with an orchestra. Yeah.
A 4-day.
4-day opera.
In the vein of it's 15 hours a day, 3 performances, connected through dawn and dusk. You know, that kind of stuff.
I do. As long as it's real.
Real. Keeping it real.
The essence is, I can summarise it thusly, that it's, in its essence, it's a capturing of a performance or a moment in time, which is what recording used to be, and is now nothing whatsoever to do with it. I think that is the essential difference. It's true.
Great.
You can hear it. You know, we always like albums and music and performances that have a lot of light and shade, and that's what you get. You get a bit of space in some of these things. You get some punch through, but you also get some, you pull back a bit, and that's how we always tend to like playing. And as Brett says, you know, that style is not necessarily the mainstay of popular music these days, but we've never been slaves to fashion.
Well, I had to, you see. In the early days, it was, they didn't have that many tracks. I think it was at Abbey Road, we had 4 tracks. So you can't overdub every single thing that they came out with. You have to get it right. and hence getting a great feel.
Correct.
Now, the Love Mussels are performing in the Fringe this year.
Correct.
The world's second largest Fringe festival, after the Edinburgh Fringe. And typically there's around about 2.5 million tickets sold to performances in the Adelaide Fringe. Those ticket sales would be a bit more restricted this year because of COVID, because of venue sizes and social distancing. But there's still, I think at last count there's over 500, 600 acts that are descending on Adelaide for the 3-week festival. And one of the highlights, of course, is the Love Mussels.
Well, the highlight.
It's really the highlight. It's the Albert Einstein themed. It's all relative Redux.
And all original.
All original. Yeah.
All original Love Mussel.
Yep.
So the venue
Is the Diverse City in the city, which used to be known as Promethean, which previously was known as the Union Hall, and it's one of those great inner city venues that has a nice balcony area as well as downstairs and a bar. We always like a nice bar. We usually choose venues based on their bar. Good food. And then...
no mussels on the menu though.
no, they do a bit of seafood from time to time, but we've asked them to refrain from cooking mussels because we'd have to put our instruments down and go sit at the bar and eat them. So we don't want to do that. And it's got a good feel, good vibe, and we've been there before, and they're a good crew that run the place and we like it.
It's a great sound in there.
It's a great room.
How many people can they put in there now?
About 7,000.
No, the actual normal capacity was 120.
120, yeah.
It's half of the during COVID. It's a beautiful, great acoustic.
Yeah, it was nice.
But it's intimate, that's what we like. When you're on stage, even with the lights down, you can pretty much see everybody, so you can be, it's a very engaging atmosphere from a band's perspective.
That could have been one of the things that scuttled us in 2006. The stadiums.
You're so distant.
So it's really connect.
They just had sort of
We're alienated.
spotlights on the stage, and out there is just darkness and 8,000 cigarette lighters.
Okay, so what date is your performance?
Saturday, March the 13th at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Go straight.
And it's only the one show?
At this stage,
And if you go to the website, you can just
Click.
click onto a link and go straight to buy tickets. Absolutely. And an album while you're there.
And an album.
Yeah, there's no excuse. And merchandise, like Muscle T-shirt, CDs, downloads, everything. Tickets, the lot. It's a one-stop muscle shop.
Wonderful. Will we have a merch stand on the night?
I guarantee.
Fabulous. So all the muscle lovers can purchase whatever they need.
yeah, there's quite a few.
Quite a few, yes.
I believe the ticket sales are going okay.
We're loving T-shirts, but I don't know.
But from time to time, we have a tendency to over-order those things anyway, so we will top up.
Great. And what will be happening after the Fringe for you guys? You're not going to vanish again, are you?
Well, it's possible.
There's been talk. There's been talk of a tour, another tour, which is at this stage limited to Australia. It's been called the Great Dividing Range Tour. It takes in most of the East Coast cities. Whether we manage to get over the range is always a question, but we'll see.
And another album?
No, I think we'd like to push on. The vibe's so good. I can't see.
So when can people expect another album from you guys?
What do you say, Kevin? When people expect an album?
It's not right. We've already started on songs
Got some new tunes, haven't we?
You got some new tunes?
There's no rush. We need to work this one. We need to work
Okay.
it, sell it, work it, get the exposure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be bold enough to suggest anything other than the third Tuesday in December. But apart from that, I wouldn't lock it in.
No.
but it's going to come.
Hopefully later in the year, perhaps.
Good stuff.
Excellent. Well, because we all need something to look forward to. You know, and if it's out before Christmas, well, what a perfect Christmas gift it is for people, you know?
Big Christmas gift.
The old stocking stuffer.
I love Mussel album.
The Mussels do Christmas songs.
Okay, so we are at...
It's a Mussel Christmas. I can see it.
I'm dreaming of a mussel Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a mussel Christmas. Yeah, it works.
Anything is possible. If John Bon Jovi can do one, well,
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't already got a Christmas album myself, so you really should get working on that one at least, yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Dennis? You know, you being the preacher and all, you must have some, you know, deep feelings about Christmas.
My feelings about Christmas are just come back to the Love Mussels, and in fact, Christmas is a wonderful time to enjoy lobster, prawns,
Yes.
oysters.
Traditionally, they love the prawns at Christmas time.
It sounds like the perfect season to be releasing a new album.
It is.
You're going to treat the listeners to some songs today as well, aren't you? Seeing as we're at Mussel headquarters here.
yeah, it's in rehearsal mode, so it's, you know, it's not really set up for performance, but we might give it a blast.
Give it a blast? All right. Well, let's head into the rehearsal room, shall we, and see what you've got for us. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Don.
I'm ready!
And that song was?
Somebody Get Me a Gun, off the new album.
Wonderful.
But now we're going to do a new song.
The next that's coming off the next album.
The Christmas album.
The Christmas album with the gin candles and things like that. So, tell us a bit about this song, Brad.
Should we do a little spiel of that?
Yes, please.
1955, our boy Albert dies. His regular dude at the hospital was away. They called in a junior pathologist, Dr. Thomas Harvey, to perform his autopsy. Thomas thinks, I've got the great man on a slab. I'll just chop that brain out, put it in a jar of formaldehyde. Took it home and put that jar of formaldehyde in a fridge cap and kept it in his basement for 40 years. Very strange man.
Very.
He gave some of it away, quite a bit of it away over the years, little slices, you know. Eventually, the family kicked up a stink and you have to give it back. And this is basically about the drive. It's based on a book called Driving Mr. Albert, from New Jersey to California. This is what I did this, you see. Don't sit and sound. You don't make some job. And I'm good, style all right. Well, I'm having nine. See my double bag. Falling in for number 5. Yeah, driving Albert's brain. Give him most a little way. Some of the stuff that's left, I'm more than heading to LA. We had another 1,000 miles to go. Just cruise along, where I need better sing this song. Yeah, driving Albert's brain. Yeah, driving Albert's brain. Back. Oh, 40 years. That won't bring remember. Wipe away the tears. Now I cross the Tennessee. It's like good land. It's a real man. They call me cheap motel, but we're perfectly fine. Every day when it's round. Yeah, driving Albert's brain. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a part of the Banded About podcast, guys, and inviting me into the home of the Love Mussels.
It's called Muscle Manor.
Muscle Manor.
And this is Muscle Central.
Muscle Central.
And it's the inner sanctum.
And one more plug for the upcoming Fringe show.
The It's All Relative, all things you ever needed to know, hear and understand about Albert Einstein, told in a semi-psychedelic manner by the amazing, the legendary, the very live Love Mussels called It's All Relative, Redux, Saturday 13th of March, 8 p.m. show.
Go straight to the website, ladies and gentlemen.
Tickets available via Fringe Tix or via the Love Mussels website.
Look at me. Look at me. Di, look at me.
I'm looking at you.
www.lovemussels.com.au.
Excellent. And that's it from the Banded About podcast. Thank you for listening.
From India to South